So go to this video, give me all the people that have commented, or I can say, go to this channel for this band. Let's go. I'm going to go and have you, look at, Red, or I'm going to go have you, look at POD or some of these Christian rock bands. And it's got 10,000 people subscribing. Go and pull this and give me all these people to create this list. So that's what's happening right there. It creates a list, right? And then what I do is I go and for the organization I'm working with, and in this situation you've got, I've got some logins for people that work with the client over here. Tube Toolbox will allow me with my account to send messages out from my YouTube account and up to 4 other people. And it does that because YouTube also has a limitation that you as an individual, you cannot send messages to people on average more than once every 3 minutes. So even though I adhere to the terms of service on YouTube's account, if I sat there and sent a message once a minute to people from my account, it wouldn't work for me through this because I would be locked out from YouTube. So what Tube Toolbox says is, hey, if you got some other people that you work with or whatever other accounts, you can go ahead and use those to send messages to. So the first thing I do is I go over and I pull 4 other names from the employees of this organization, and then you see right to the left of that it says Add Recipients. When I click that button, the list of all the people that I just collected pops up, and I just select them all, and it basically pulls that list into the application. And then the next thing, I try to click on the thing, is I go through and I've got a text file of what is essentially a bunch of templated messages, but they're actually the same message written about 30 times. And so what I'll do is I'll do a cut and paste, and you see all these things. I have a go with the series name, the third-party video name, the client video name, this kind of stuff. I've got different things that I'll fill in, and then throughout this text file, I'll do a cut and replace, say, for the channel name, and it'll replace Brooke Fraser TV. That's an Australian Christian artist. And what ends up happening is I create essentially 30 versions of the same message, and the message is, hey there, username. I just came across your name on Brooke Fraser's channel. Here's the channel name. And I've got a video of a rock festival, blah, blah, blah. It's basically introducing myself, saying where I found them, saying what the connection is, and then asking them to do something. Please watch the video. Please favorite it. Please leave a comment, whatever. It's that simple. Usually the messages are 3 or 4 sentences long at most. They're very casual. You create these. After you create them and put them inside the interface, you see right here the orange button is where you would have all those messages. You click which series, you click on which series you want. Then you go down to the next one and you click on this select my favorite videos, and you pick the video that you want them to watch. This is something really cool. They will actually attach the video inside the message so people don't have to go out to YouTube and find it. So if they're reading your message, the video is right there and it's embedded and ready to go. Then if I want to, after it's sent them the message, I can send out a friend request to that person if I want to, or I can add a timestamp to the message if I want to look at that for data purposes. And then I click Start Sending. And whenever I click Start Sending, the application minimizes down into my taskbar, and it runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 1 message at a time, about every minute and a half, until it gets through all 300 or 3,000 or 10,000 names. And it is absolutely, you pay for the application, right? And the application is like $79, but you pay for it, and that's the only cost. After that, you've got this tool that allows you to mine users. They're relevant users. You've already vetted them based upon what else they're watching and subscribing to. And it is something that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and promotes your content. That's how you activate. You ask people, you engage with them, and the messages are unique enough that I've been using this tool for about 2 years. I have literally not a single time had somebody come back to me and say, why did you send me a canned message? Because there's scripting that allows you to make them make every one of them look unique. So if there's anything from 2 things from this from this webinar I want you to take home is, number 1, making sure your video can be found is absolutely critical. The virality does not happen by itself. If the first few people that are going to watch your video, they're going to carry the water for you, can't find it, you're dead in the water. And number 2, putting it up there and optimizing isn't enough. You've got to go out, and whether you're doing email marketing and introducing people to the video, or you're using something like Tube Toolbox, there's a couple of other tools like Tube Toolbox, but Tube Toolbox by far is the best one I've seen. Unless you're using something like that, you don't stand a chance. I mean, there's 200,000 videos a day being put on this website. You've got to go out and tell people about it. Once you've done all that, and everybody's happy, right, and you've got it cranking along, your videos are optimized, and on Facebook and Twitter, and you're telling people about it, then there's a couple of other websites you want to look at to promote them. And each one of those websites we could do a webinar on, and Greg might make me do a webinar on each one of them. But there's just a few other ones that you can go out and touch on. Takes a little bit more time, but it's not that big of a deal. And then you'll be all happy. And I'm done. So, Greg, I'm passing it back to you.
Thank you, Giovanni. I hope everyone can hear me, and I apologize for the audio glitch at the beginning of the podcast. Not the podcast, but the, well, we can turn it into a podcast. Why don't we do that? We'll have our own podcasting channel. Giovanni, just as we wrap up here, we did have one attendee who posted a question where he's asked us, do you recommend allowing comments inside your YouTube video channels? And if so, how do you moderate inappropriate comments?
So my first answer is absolutely critical. Unless you have like the only video in existence of the very last Shuttle Atlantis liftoff or something, you have to allow. It's one of the most important pieces of the search algorithm on YouTube and feeds into Google. So absolutely yes. As far as moderating them, that's an organizational petition. I typically will allow all comments to go through, and then whenever someone adds a new comment, I get an email, and if something's inappropriate, I can click and delete it immediately before too many people see it. However, you do have the option on every one of your videos to tell YouTube, yes, allow comments, but don't post them until I manually approve them. So they have that built in. So you don't have to be concerned at all. And I will tell you that in some cases, the people that leave comments on videos on YouTube are absolutely the dregs of the earth. I don't know who raised some of these people, but my personal feelings aside, everyone on this call has every reason in the world to be conservative in that area. And I would recommend any faith-based or cause-based organization, do not let them free flow through your account. Make someone go in maybe once every 2 days, check your comment. And you don't have to do anything to the bad ones, just approve the ones that are good, and just leave it at that.
That's good advice. We've opened up the audio channel now for everyone. If anybody has any questions, now would be the time. We're going to try to wrap this up very quickly, but we definitely want to leave time for anyone's questions for Giovanni. Feel free to speak up.
Will you guys email out the graphics to all of the attendees?
We will. We'll make the slide deck available, and we also will. We've recorded this webinar, and the video and audio will be available on the Dunham+Company website through our YouTube channel, actually, probably within the next week or so.
Yeah, this was superior today. I'm just thrilled to have been able to take part, and hope you do more of these. This was great.
We plan to do more of them, and we certainly appreciate everyone's faithful attendance. Please feel free to, if you haven't already, go to Dunham+Company.com and sign up for our e-updates, which are our about weekly email updates with relevant industry information. That's also the channel through which we'll promote future webinars. You can also follow us on Twitter at Dunham+Co, D-U-N-H-A-M-C-O, and we'll also promote things there. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Pamela typed a question in, and I put the website up on the screen if everybody can still see it. Just go to,
great.
Pamela, just go to tubetoolbox.com, and that's where you can purchase the application.
I see. And then we have another question from Scott Shellhorse. Do you recommend using links inside videos and/or Google Checkout, or direct links back to your website instead?
Once you develop a library of videos, and that's one of the biggest things we did with the Houdini stuff when we went from 700,000 to over 20 million in 8 months, is that every single video that we had, without it obstructing the content on the video, every single video at the beginning or end would have a link, a caption that will pop up that led someone in a hot link over to another related video. So we heavily used links to promote additional videos on YouTube itself, but you just have to find it. And I would say that the blanket answer is yes, absolutely use links. It's one of the biggest ways you get people to go from one piece of your content to another. Just don't overdo it. Don't be obnoxious about it. You always, while we're feeding the monster that is the YouTube search algorithm and Google, we have to be really considerate about the readers and the viewers and not overdo it to where it just becomes obnoxious.
Very good. Any other questions either through the chat window or on audio? Anyone? Okay, with that, well, thank you, Giovanni, for another great presentation. Again, everyone will make the slide deck available in a PDF document very soon, and we'll also post the recorded webinar on the Dunham & Company site through our YouTube channel. If we're at youtube.com/Dunham+Company, if you want to find it, it won't be up there for a while because we have to convert it and then upload it, and that's not something that for an hour-long file it takes quite a bit of time. But again, thank you all for coming. We appreciate your attendance, and we look forward to seeing you at a future Dunham & Company webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.